Huge update. Avengers Rework, Sinister 6, and Milestones. Yes, all of that and more with Tony Scungili on your Marvel Strike Force news update, guys. And if you're ready for that, Tony, tell them what to do, brother.
Stop the leaks.
ValleyFlyin.
Whoa, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to your Marvel Strike Force weekly news update. This week, I am joined by my brother, Tony Scungili. How are you, my friend?
What's going on, man? I'm doing all right. How you doing today?
Ooh, I'm very rested because it's been a very uneventful week. I mean, not too much happening in Marvel Strike Force. I mean, we just got some Avengers reworks. We got Sinister 6. We got new characters. Yeah, I guess we'll talk about these things. We got a bunch of things that happen. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. But on slow news weeks, we got to find something to talk about, right?
Yeah, it is. We'll see if we can come up with enough topics. Let's start with this guy right here, guys. Dr. Octopus. And let's talk about his kit first, the thing that is very controversial right now. All right, Dr. Octopus, what are your thoughts on this character? Villain, City, Tech, Support, Spider-Verse, Sinister 6, and Legendary. How impressed with him are you? Do you feel that this character fits that legendary status?
So we're going to start off with the fact that he's villain tech support, which is my favorite 3 tags in this game. I always imagine that it's just what like Skeletor calls when his computer is broken. So villain tech support characters are in fact the best characters. As for his kit, you know, it's going to depend, because as with most things, there's the way it's written, the way they intended it to work, and the way it works. You know what I mean? And we don't really know. So like his special, like if it summons like until there's no more missing Sinister 6 members, then it's like amazing. And like you just put them on a team and you just keep getting more Sin 6s. But like if it only summons one character and then that's it, that character's locked for the duration of the game, unless you like resin with Minerva or something, who's also villain tech support. You know, maybe. I don't know. A lot of what he does is great on his team, which is the most important thing for a legendary. They have to improve the overall quality of their team. He does, both the original Sinister 6 and with some of the new characters we'll look at. But outside of the team, even if you look, I don't know if he's like maybe in somewhere in that IW level of like better on the team, but there are some situations where you get a lot of value out of him. That ultimate is phenomenal. Like
yes.
His damage stats kind of matter, but still, like, flip 2 positive effects into negative effects. If his base focus is good enough to hold, even though he's not in the Sinister 6, that might be good enough. His Master Planner, there's stuff that helps the Sinister 6, and then there's that everyone on your team gets 10,000%, or 10,000 even, we don't know anymore, resistance against offense down. Like, that means that if they ever start putting yo-yo in nodes, like, oh, well, never mind. And on the other side, that means if you start putting Doc Ock on nodes that we fight against, we no longer can bring in Yo-Yo. Yeah. So there's a lot of fun value to it. I don't think he's overpowered, and I hope I'm wrong, but I think he's looks really good. And I like the fact that he kind of slides into a team that you've probably worked on at some point in your play in order to unlock, Shuri and
the legendary
Invisible Woman, the legendary Shuri.
We're going to talk about her in a little bit. How big of a difference do you think Shocker is going to make on a non-Sinister 6 team? Because apparently it's not a random Sinister 6 member. It's in a fixed order. If no Sinister 6 member is present, Shocker is being the one called. I mean, does this propel him to that Invisible Woman level that you're talking about, or does this take him to the next level?
So here's where things get weird. Right? Because Shocker himself, I think we can all say he's a pain to farm and he's kind of a lackluster overall character. But many people don't have a like super strong Shocker. You know what I mean? Like many people don't have a gear tier 13 or 14 7775 Shocker.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that the Shocker that's summoned, that guy's gonna have Doc Ock's numbers. It's gonna have Doc Ock's investment. It's going to have Doc Ock's red stars. That's just all stuff that they do in their kits now. So if that summon Shocker comes out, and because your Doc Ock is 7775, so is he. And even though he might get a little bit less health and damage, he still has a giant AoE that he's ready to do pretty quickly since his special gives him like 80% turn meter.
Yeah.
It might be good enough. You know, like it might be the same kind of thing when you use Mr. Sinister in a fight and don't have anyone good to summon. Well, it's better having a 6th character than not. So we'll see. But that's, again, if they only summon Shocker ever. You know, if he happens to summon Shocker and then Vulture for some reason, that seems okay. But
well, yeah, if he has Vulture, that would be good. But yeah, look, yeah, who knows how it's gonna work? I know how it's like you said, we know how it's intended. It's supposed to only work with Shocker. Who knows what's gonna happen when it's when we actually see some play testing on this stuff? But yeah, who knows? But you know, in this Sinister 6 team, let's talk about him in the Sinister 6 team. What do you make of this team with him leading them, giving them all this extra max health, giving them the block chance, and just giving them that extra member of this team that does have synergy with everyone else?
For my uses, I see this as a war defense team. I see this as a team that you're not going to be able to just run a generic counter to. But I think that they have a lot of value on offense too, especially for players who maybe are entering that 3 to 6 million TCP range where they don't have an infinite supply of powerful war offense and defense. So for me, I think this is intended to be war defense, but I give them credit to not having the war defense tag on these characters so that you can use them on either side, but I think they have a little bit more value on defense than anywhere else.
Let's talk about his buddy right here, Swarm. We got a preview of his kit in the blog post earlier this week, but we got the full numbers once the embargo lifted here. He's very masochistic. What are your thoughts on this guy?
You know, what we've seen of him doing actual damage and stuff, he seems to be doing pretty good damage, which is kind of what you need in a character who's got a very short period of time. Again, just on his own as a character. On his team, with Doc Ock especially, he's never going to run out of charges. But I think he does a pretty decent chunk of damage for a guy who's only got 4 turns to live, whether you like it or not. You know,
he does have a very high health pool too, so it will take a few of his turns to kill him if the enemies aren't attacking.
But no armor. But no armor, and that's right.
I didn't notice that. Okay.
Yeah, no armor, because he's made of bees. Bees don't have armor.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Electro, his running mate Electro, female version of Electro. A little surprised. Let's talk about that first. Were you surprised by this? I guess that's how it is in the comics right now. But were you expecting the more iconic version of this character?
So, anecdotal. I actually thought we were getting Olivia Octavius, and I feel like maybe when I was told something about the next Sinister 6 character being a chick, I might have assumed it was Olivia Octavius. Okay. Because I wasn't expecting Francine Fry Electro. But I guess it makes sense considering that they are trying to be somewhat modern when they release characters. And I think Max Dillon, who's the original Electro, died in the comics in like 2014 or something. So I think Francine Fry is and has been the Electro right now. But since the only version is, you know, that we've seen of Electro has been the Jamie Foxx version in ASM 2, I'm like 100% sure I'm happier with this than getting that. You know, like I just don't want the
At
cold
least this one
sweat.
has the right colors. This one has the right
looks
orange
like an Electro.
yellow
Yeah,
and green
right
color, right?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Blue.
And that's just the choice of gender swapping or being, I guess, more accurate to the current contemporary comics than maybe a traditional character, which they've done before. We got Ultimate Goblin instead of Green Goblin with the glider, you know. They've done it plenty of times. But that's actually the least important thing about this character.
Let's talk about the best part of this character, not the overall appearance of this character. The kit. This is a very, very strong kit. Now, when I first saw this, I was on stream and chat mentioned Black Order Killer. So that's the first thing that popped in my head when I started seeing this. They mentioned that on Dr. Octopus. When I saw this, I thought Cull Obsidian. What was your first thoughts when you saw this kit?
So when I saw that special, I said, "Bye, Cole." I was like, "It's a slightly worse. Nice. It's a slightly worse Ultimus ult that costs 3 energy." And it happens like immediately. You know, like the first, if you want to, you could do it immediately, but you don't have to.
And then Cole taunts again, and then you got another move to follow up with Cole.
Yeah, like, and again, it's more of a tank killer than a specific to Cole, because, you know, when you take off that last death proof, that last hit has to be lethal and 150% damage. You know, I don't know if he has defense up. There's situations where I could see this not working, but like any attack that bonus attacks for every positive effect, man, what did Luke Cage ever do to you, Electro?
All right, so let's talk about this Mysterio pick. When you first saw this kit of his, the picking the death, you having to pick the correct mirror image, excuse me, because one of the mirror images can revive Mysterio. How strong do you think this is? When I saw this, I thought it was very strong, but when I saw the cooldown of that second summon of this being able to revive Mysterio, I thought, it's going to take a few turns.
2 of 4, right?
It's 2 of 4, yes.
So that means the first time it takes a turn, it'll go to 3. So the second turn it exists, it can revive Mysterio.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's the most broken thing I've ever seen. But
if it was 1-on-1, I thought it was 1-on-1. I thought it was.
If it came back immediately, I'd be like, we are in trouble. No, yeah, right. Oh no, 1 of 1. No, we're done. 2 of 4 is just, even at that, why isn't it 0 of 2? Whatever, I don't care. I don't know. Like, I think the biggest change is that, like, before you used to kill Mysterio, it'd be like, all right, next threat. You know, like next problem. Or actually, you never actually targeted Mysterio. You just accidentally killed Mysterio because, I don't know, like Punisher AoE'd something on the other side of the map or in a different fight, and then he died on the win from the punch. So, like you just didn't care. Now it kind of can make a difference, and those summons are strong now. Like, those summons got a little bit of a buff. If you saw some of the gameplay footage, those Mysterios weren't that strong, but those summons took a couple of decent hits. That might have been part of the summon rework they've done overall. Maybe he just never got affected by it, but they might be relevant. I like Mysterio. I'm one of the people who thinks Mysterio has always been an important member of the team, even though he's been a little lackluster. I think his special and his focus buff is really important to that team. So
the focus only for war though.
No, I just mean in general. He gives 20% focus to the entire Sinister Six.
His passive. Yeah. Okay.
But this is specifically applied 2 turns of war block, but it doesn't say it here. It's only for city heroes. Because that's that is in the original text. I forgot about that. Okay. It doesn't specifically say it there, so I didn't want people to think he just ability blocks for 2 turns on his special. Like, no, his special does a ton of damage and a blind. It just happens to ability block.
Very minimal, very like niche rework.
Yeah, for all those people still currently fighting defenders in war, like Mysterio on his own will really, really, really hurt your Luke Cage. You know, or like anyone until Jessica Jones takes a turn, I guess. But I think a lot of their
maybe this is a defensive team though. Maybe this is a defensive team.
I think it is, and I think a lot of their kits have been kind of tweaked a little bit to take advantage of fights against the Spider-Verse. Like, I know that Mysterio dies and then Carnage will get turn meter off of the other Mysterios, but maybe, you know, like, I don't know. It just feels like, who would this team be necessary to stop, or who would be a good counter to this team? And some of the kits you've seen, especially on characters like Swarm and Electro, kind of feel like they're meant to kind of mess up the symbiotes, but there's no heal block yet, so we'll see how that works out.
So these are the Sinister Six characters that we have. We have Electro, Swarm, and Dr. Octopus, and then we have the 5 characters in the game right now. What are your thoughts on the best version of this Sinister Six team?
Just from looking at the kits.
Like, obviously,
just looking at the kits,
we don't know.
Assuming
it might turn out very different in actual gameplay.
I suspect that the team I'm going to be trying first is going to be kind of like from left to right: Mysterio, Rhino, Doc Ock, Vulture, and Electro. I want Swarm. Shocker summoned. No, I don't think I'm going to try Swarm on this team. I like Swarm as a character. I think Swarm becomes surprisingly a better character if you don't have Doc Ock to kind of slot fill, because characters like Green Goblin and you know, maybe Vulture, depending on what kind of fight you have, might not be that beneficial to what you're doing. And Swarm just kind of does a little bit more. But I think Swarm has more value outside of that team. I think a lot of people aren't necessarily noticing all of the debuffs he puts on and saying, man, he'd be really good next to the symbiotes, wouldn't he? Yeah, he might be. He's pretty tanky. He heals himself with his basic. He has some opportunities to be relatively good with other teams. So when I'm thinking of what I want for the Sinister Six, that's kind of where I want to feel them out. I'm excited for this. I think this is a fun, like, Swiss Army knife team that has many different options.
Yeah, I like that it's comparison, because you do have that war offense, war defense, and obviously other game modes as well. You know what I got really excited for, though? This thing down here, this Avengers rework, my friend. Let's start with this guy, Captain America. I mean, he looks like he can just do this all day, my friend. He's got 20% block chance per Avenger ally. That means with his 25%,
not wave one Avenger.
Oh, that is a mistake I made on the live stream. I didn't notice that until this morning. So yeah, any Avenger allies. So multiple fits, and we're going to talk about that. But overall, 105% block chance. How strong do you think Captain America is right now?
With this rework, I assume. With this
rework, once it goes into effect, yes.
So the one thing that I'm really paying attention to on this is Captain America's ultimate. The passive's great, right? But I remember always hating fighting Captain America's because they never would kill you. It just took forever. With that ultimate going off on turn one, we always used to say, like, I wish Cap taunted on turn one. Here, he doesn't taunt on turn one, but it's pretty close because he takes his second turn before most people might get a first with that 60% speed bar.
Yeah.
So, especially with Black Widow giving offense.
I think when I saw this, I thought this is really going to affect the AI Captain Americas.
Yeah. Anytime we see that going forward, and obviously don't really go back and change things that were, but yeah, like you get Black Widow speed up to him, you have this happening. I think when you look at Cap, you're gonna be like, he's gonna be taunting a lot. We're gonna have to deal with the Cap who has 100% block chance for like 90% of the game. And as long as he keeps taunting, and his taunt is what? Also 3 energy, I think?
I don't remember.
It doesn't show it there, but I don't remember. It's been so long.
He hasn't been relevant for a year.
Cap. Today I told him, you get to come off war defense today, friend. Come on. Why? I just want to play with you.
Promoted. You become General America.
No, maybe not, but maybe. No, I really think that Cap got the 3rd best rework of this entire thing.
All right. Is of the Avengers?
Of the Avengers, yes.
Okay. I was like, of the whole thing?
No, clearly Quake's rework was the best rework.
Oh, I thought it was Yondu's.
Yondu, okay. I just want to let you know. Could you real quick, because I do love you. Can you scroll up to the point where they talk about that? The Yondu and Quake rework? I just want to make a mention.
I was going to talk about this later. We'll talk about this.
No, this is important.
Okay.
I'll say it to you now because I want to say it on stream. Dev note, Punisher, Quake, and Yondu. The following characters were not scaling as well as we'd hoped. We've made some minor adjustments to their stats and max level to help them. Punisher, 10% damage. Quake, nice. Focus by 5. Yondu, awesome. Focus by 5.
Awesome,
whoever made those decisions should be fired. That's what their solution to these characters. Do they know why they're not scaling? Do they understand the reason those characters aren't good? It's not because their focus is bad. It's because they don't do damage. I think they made a mistake. I think they also have gotten 10% more damage.
I wish they would apply more effects more often. That's what I wanted from those characters.
Here's our rework. Quake still does 20k to everybody on her ult. But no one gets it. But people might get offense. So doesn't she have like one of the highest focuses in the game in general?
I know her passive gives extra focus, but now she's getting even more focus for it. Yes,
she's on defense with Cap.
All right, back to the Avengers. Let's move on to Black Widow because she got some big stat increases to her focus as well. 18%, not just 5. So Yondu, Quake, little jelly of her. Got some more health as well. And this thing right here, the counterattack. She's going to clear a positive effect. Now, very important when we see the rest of her kit because she's going to gain assist now on Hawkeye's turn. What are your thoughts of Black Widow right now? With this update, excuse me, with this update.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Second best rework of this entire set. Ooh. I feel like we're missing something. I feel like this is the rework we might have seen, or part of the rework we might have seen if the Black Widow movie had been released when it was intended to. Something like that. But I mean, we might still see more added to her to kind of tie in with her movie and any characters that may or may not be coming out when that happens. But I will say that, first of all, just all of a stat increase like that, that's huge. Focus going up, that's relevant. Because I remember my Black Widow never stole buffs, but the AI one always did because they had a focus increase. When you look at the ultimate, that now if Hawkeye is present, always change to 3 targets. That's now likely to stun and likely to put those bleed effects on people. The fact that she is one of the fastest characters in the game, I don't know if she's gone back to the god tier the way she used to be. You remember the old days.
Oh, yes.
When Black Widow was the best character you couldn't get.
I remember the days when she was farmable, my friend.
Oh, listen. Don't quote the old text to me, my friend. I was there when they were written.
But yeah, very, very good. Let's move on to a running mate all the way from Budapest. Her buddy, Hawkeye. Now, he got some big stat increases as well.
He got the best rework.
Health, 15%. Focus, 25%. This is super relevant because of all the stuff he does. Blinds, clearing positive effects, and he got more speed.
No. You go back up to speed. You don't say he got more speed.
I made a big deal of it on stream when I saw this live. I'll say what I said on stream. He's now a I don't even remember what I said on stream. He was a fast character, now he's a very fast character.
Yeah, he went from being like, as time has progressed, he went from being like, that's pretty fast to like, stop, Hawkeye, please give me a minute. He is really fast now.
This is going to be very annoying for the AI Hawkeyes. They're already kind of annoying with all those blinds. It's going to be even worse now. Jeez.
Oh, God.
This is what I'm not really happy about because of all the AI Hawkeyes that I see.
They literally looked at Hawkeye and just started like throwing stuff out and being like, more numbers, just put more things on it, more numbers. It needs to be a longer read. Like if you can finish reading Hawkeyes before you finish the first chapter of War and Peace, no, it's not worth it. His basic is damaged now. First of all of his attacks are unavoidable. Like everything. Before it looked like it was, but
that was an unwritten one. I don't think it's written, but yeah, it's always been like that.
His passive wasn't. His passive could be dodged, I believe, because they could dodge the first part of it, which was the remove of hit a target from stealth. It was weird because I know for a fact I've been dodged by a Hawkeye, stealth passive. But now that just happens, right? Like he just hits everything, always, never misses. He never misses more than Bullseye, actually. Every single step they took, his basic does more damage. His passive, it slows everybody. It removes abilities from everybody, and it damages everybody. Anybody who ever thought that it damaged AoEs when they saw, like, I'll hit this guy because that guy's about to die. You were wrong. It didn't do damage. Now it does. Amazing. The ult now applies slow in addition to I don't think people remember the times when like your team having speed up and their team having slow was the difference between like winning and losing.
Black Widow combo plus Captain America. That was the triumphant back then. You had those three on the team, you automatically win.
Which is now like, I'm gonna try to figure out a way to get Quake on this team as soon as I can. Like, give me another Inhuman, anyone. I'll take Triton, whatever. Any other Inhuman, just so I can put Quake on this team because. Well, give me 2. I don't want Karnak either. But like, at
least Karnak's from the moon. But I digress. What are you gonna say about
Hawkeye? No, I feel like they literally took Hawkeye and said, we want to make him a good character. How do we do that? He hadn't been loved. He was fine, and he had his niche uses. And I feel like he's away from niche now. All of these character reworks, though, with maybe 1 or 2 exceptions. They really didn't improve the overall quality of the character in the pool, but together, these characters are insanely powerful together. I think you got that Cap, Black Widow, Hawkeye core 3 of the characters. And then as we look at the other ones, we could see like why or when or how you'd use them. But I think that's the core. And with that core, you can throw in like CM and Ms. Marvel and just go absolutely nuts on like some weird hybrid teams. there's so many things you can do. You can throw in Trooper with Hulk. Whatever.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about my boy, because he is about to smash. All right, Hulk. I was really underestimating this rework, but when you talk about this as in a conjunction with this entire team, Captain America giving that extra health, he's getting more max health on his special, more speed bar every time they take damage. Whenever an enemy attacks a Wave 1 Avenger, Captain America is getting hit a lot, and he's getting extra resistance. So when Hulk taunts, it's not getting removed as easily. I see him going above and below that 50% speed bar, taking a lot of turns, especially with all this speed bar. Hulk, I think, is going to be very, very scary.
I think the increase to his base health from like the way the kits are now lining up, like just having a strong Hulk is going to be terrifying. I think if you see a lineup that's like Cap, Hulk, Black Widow, Hawkeye, and then who cares about the 5th character? I think if that's what you see, like you're going to be fighting that. You probably beat it, but you're going to be fighting them for a while. I don't think there's that AoE comp that's going to really take him out. Hawkeye's getting death proof all the time. You know, Black Widow probably stole it from one of your guys if you're using a team that's that good. And then Hulk and Cap are just constantly taking turns. It looks meaningful.
It does. It does. Yeah, this is actually another war bonus. No war offense, no war defense. This extra max health that Cap gives. So, 40% extra max health in war for the Hulk and the rest of the team, as a matter of fact. So, yeah.
No, Hulk gets it all.
Looking strong.
It all goes to Hulk.
Oh. He's still short though. He needs to get taller. Hopefully he gets taller.
The fact that I can see the Hulk's face when he's on the screen hurts my feelings. I just want to see legs and like the top of his torso. I'm like, that's Hulk.
Get out of here. Get out of here. All right. Iron Man also got a rework. Thor also got a rework. Most of these were just to make them work with this Avenger team, what they already would do on power armor, already do on Asgard. It's a little increase of damage for Iron Man. What are your thoughts on Iron Man and Thor as far as their reworks?
Iron Man first. Iron Man's rework has made it so that if you buy that $24.99, Avengers pack or Shield pack that you see all the time, you're basically getting a free Iron Man, and now you can slot him right into that team for a character like Quake, and he makes that team just a better team, better for Blitz. I wouldn't quite call him a raid team. They don't have much sustain, but if you need to take out something strong, you could. Probably an early game war team for offense, really strong with just those characters. Now you're obviously going to get a Hulk eventually. You'll get him and then you'll get him stronger over time. That's no big deal. But I think the biggest thing for Iron Man is, and Thor, this is both concluded. Now the reworks, they're present. They basically just got the whatever their ability of their main team is plus Wave 1 Avengers, which is great. If you have these characters and you have an Iron Man or you have a Thor, they're depending on where you are in the game, that could be enough to be like, this is the team I'm kind of using in Arena for a while I'm working towards better characters or stronger setups. It's a really good early and even somewhat mid-game team. And until you do get power armor for Iron Man, until you do finally, unlock Hela and Loki, these characters now have additional viability. You don't just unlock Thor and be like, well, I'll just wait until I can farm Loki and cosmic whatever, you now get extra value out of these characters and that's something that we don't see enough of in this game.
I really like it from that aspect that you're bringing up. It is very, very friendly for new and mid-game players. Players starting this game, they're like, oh, I get to use my Avengers and they're good. I get to use Iron Man. I get to use Thor on this team. And then for later game players, you could slot in other characters, But yeah, it's just awesome. I love this for newer mid-game players. I was a little confused when I first saw this. Like, who do you take off? I guess you take Iron Man off. But, like I said, I didn't see that extra block chance from just Avengers, not Wave 1 Avengers. So, yeah, that's.
Oh, you know who else are Avengers? Just off the top of my head.
Black Panther. We're gonna get to that. That was actually my next question. Best fifth for this team. Because there are a few choices. I was talking with OMG about this. We had our picks. Who are you thinking for this team? I know you're going to mention some of the Avengers because they work pretty good on this team.
Assuming you have access to everybody, right? And that means that the characters are in their best teams and whatever. I like Vision. Vision is on the top of my list. He's currently homeless. He has nowhere to be.
That's a huge
You
plus
can use
for
him on a couple of other teams, but I think the defense up that he gets, the ability block is on turn 1, and the ability to clear some debuffs might be relevant enough. Vision's just a strong overall character. He's lost a little bit of a step, but I do think it's a pretty good add. I think Black Panther adds a little bit of damage, and he doesn't actually have a team right now, at least as far as I know. Does anyone know the team Black Panther?
I think that's the best. I think that's the best asset that he brings. He's a good character. He's a good character. He has the tag, and he doesn't have a team.
Yeah.
I think that's the.
Killmonger's a merc. Shuri has no home. M'Baku's in the game.
I'm using Shuri and Killmonger on the mercs. I'm using both of them on the
same
mercs.
here. Yeah, no. Yeah. But Killmonger is the merc. Shuri's just a really good character on the mercs. And then who else is left? I think it's M'Baku and Okoye. They have no tags, so that they're irrelevant. So yeah, I might as well find a home for Black Panther. There's one character that is, I don't know if he has the Avengers tag. I actually don't remember. No, he does. Ant-Man. I actually really like Ant-Man.
He does. Wasp doesn't. Ant-Man does.
Yeah, but that's fine. I don't want to use Wasp.
No.
I want the AoE slow on turn 1, so you get it before anything else happens. I want that turn 1 AoE slow.
Well, he is a slow character, but on a team with Black Widow, maybe he gets that off, sooner, make him more relevant in battle. He's a character that I've always liked his kit. His base stats is what's really held him back, but his kit just looks really good.
Everything on his kit is incredibly powerful. If he got like 10% overall stat boosts, all of them. Health, damage, focus, resistance. Like, I feel like they just built him once and then someone hit like minus.
Because he's a small character, right?
Yeah, they're like, small. And we're like, but
he can't have big stats. He's just a normal dude. He's just a normal dude in a suit.
And then Wasp, whatever. Like, I think Ant-Man also works really well.
That doesn't make sense. Iron Man, yeah. Anyway. all the power armor. When I was talking about OMG in the video that we did earlier today, we mentioned 2 other characters: Captain Marvel, Shield Trooper. Captain Marvel is just because she's really good. She has that war synergy with military synergy with Captain America. But Shield Trooper mainly because he doesn't have a home. What are your thoughts on those characters?
If you're using Hulk, I like Shield Trooper, and I like doing like Black Widow, Cap, Trooper, Hulk, and Hawkeye, because even if Trooper dies, you don't care. like he got in like 5 or 6 extra shots as everyone was dealing with the other 2 idiots. So like, that's a fine comp. I like Shield Trooper. He's pretty homeless. And
any other homeless characters come to your mind?
Scarlet Witch.
You don't use her in Supernatural?
No, I use Ultron on Supernatural.
She does have Avengers tag, but
I use Ultron on Supernatural because they can beat Black Order, and she's the hero controller on the team, and that's the one I don't want on the
team. That makes sense. Yeah, for Black Order.
Ultra Natural.
So she won't have a home. She could help extending debuffs that Black Widow might apply. She could redistribute health. That Hulk is constantly getting back, so.
Yeah, it's still a redistribute. If it had any percentage of heal based on that redistribute, I'd be like, she's amazing. But like, she kind of outscaled. She's a little squishy. She does put debuffs. She does, have a chance to heal some of the lower health people if it comes up. Like, I could think of a situation where you'd rather throw some health on Hawkeye, and thankfully he had a death proof on him, so he stabilized, he got healed, Black Widow then speeds up again, he has another death proof. It'd kind of stabilize the fights a little bit, especially since Hawkeye isn't necessarily that tanky a character. But she's another character that could necessarily be on that team. Not necessarily at endgame, but just like if you have a Scarlet Witch and you haven't finished the Supernatural or something, like just throw her on the team, she'll be fine.
Or if you've moved her off of, so you could counter the Black Order with Ultron. All right, so the next question. I know I've asked you about this the last time we did a news video a few weeks ago, but since this is coming now, the milestones are coming right now, has your opinion changed? And I guess for the people that didn't watch that video, what was your original opinion if it has not changed?
So my thought was Symbiote Spider-Man, obviously he's not in Milestones, but surprise, he was a Milestone character. Duh, he's going into Milestone Orbs. But my follow-up thought to that was, I don't think they're going to do 3 characters in the Milestone Orbs. I think that's kind of bloating. And I also feel like they've been very generous with CM over the last, literally, like year and a half now. I think, the original release of CM, everyone got 100. For the Milestone, 1 year after it happened, everyone got 100. Some people got more. Wink, remember that. And now I think there's a calendar for new players that they just get a CM. I feel like it's more likely that CM gets placed somewhere else and taken out of those orbs to keep those orbs kind of fresh. They seem to be using that terminology a lot. We've removed so-and-so to keep the orbs fresh. I kind of imagine CM's maybe had her time in the sun and the milestone orb, and she's still a phenomenal character, but she does kind of lose a little bit of scaling. Like, I wouldn't use her in Dark Dimension 3. I don't use her in U7 right now, even though I have a relatively strong one. I feel like maybe she's kind of been outscaled, and that kind of goes to show that she's old and busted, and, you know, Symbiote Spider-Man is new hotness, and that's how it's going to work.
So where do you think she goes? Into maybe an orb exclusive, like Premium, Ultimus, Mega Orb type thing? Or
aren't we getting a new Doom campaign?
We are getting a new Doom campaign.
Isn't it super weird that Thor is the farmable character on the end of that or at the first part of that campaign? Like,
so do you think eventually that's where she's going to end up?
They've been doing something recently where they add a character to a node. They did it with a punch, actually. They did it with Rescue. They actually did it with Human Torch, and then they switched it to
Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic. Thank you. Yeah. I think they just added Thor as the, like, just whatever. Like, just here's a character, have fun. Because, like, it's honestly, he was like him or Heimdall, or actually Sif were the only two characters that people would be like, I don't want to farm these guys because they're in the worst stores. So I think they just put Thor there temporarily. I don't think anything's going to change. I think he's still a raid store character. And I think that, like, CM's going to just go like, here you go, you can farm CM and Doom campaign node 4 or 6 or whatever they do.
What are you predicting for the timing of this? Weeks, months? What are your...
When's the patch go live?
You think days?
7 to 12 days between the patch going live. That's a guess completely.
I'm very curious.
Whenever the Doom campaign goes live,
that'd be cool.
I think the Doom campaign will go live, and it'll maybe like a couple of days. Like, we'll have it, and they'll be like, LOL, JK. That's what I suspect, but I could be wrong.
Well, we will see. We will see. I guess it's definitely a possibility. They've done it before. All right, and favorite part of my blog post, brother. Health in raid battles. Now, this was kind of annoying way back in the day with Ultron, but this I haven't really noticed this too much. Is this something that you've been noticing? I maybe have been experiencing a lot, but I haven't really been noticing this. Is this something you personally have been seeing?
Personally, I have been so far removed from fighting in raids at a point where I would notice the difference that I haven't been picking up. I remember it happening. I remember the early days of U7 before the slider, like Ultron would show up and I'd be like, no, he's definitely at full health.
Yeah.
I actually didn't. I actually healed for 0 on my turn. You know, like, I know for a fact he's in full health. And they're like, well, technically he wasn't. He was over health. So we removed them, but we removed them plus 1 hit point because they don't math. I get it. Ultimately, I don't actually go into many nodes at full health. Usually when you have a nice sustained team, especially in the harder U7s and you know, gamma raids, that, like, tiny little bit of health, or if you're using the symbiotes, you're like, oh, they're not at full health. They will be. Like, they'll take a turn. They'll be fine. You know, so, like, I don't really notice it that often, but I know for a fact it's hurting a lot of people who
it's mainly Ultron, because it matters if he's at full health at the start of the battle. So that's I think that was the most annoying thing when you saw this. But
there are very few characters there are many characters that actually have an effect that say at the beginning of battle, if at full health. There's very few that actually people use outside of things like war or, you know, very situational stuff.
All right, and the biggest news of the whole news update, guys. Our girl, the Legendary Shuri, her event is returning. Players that have not unlocked her are unlocking her for the first time. Players that have her at 5-star get her up to 6 stars. Players that have her 6 stars right now get her up to 7 stars. How amazing is this right now?
I feel so bad. Most players only get to unlock Shuri for the first time once. I, with my new free-to-play account, get to do it twice.
Oh my goodness.
So excited.
That is awesome. Awesome, my friend. All right, and what are your thoughts on this character?
Shuri?
Yeah, and
the most legendary
awesome. Why is she so awesome? Well,
because she first of all, she's like the only legendary that doesn't have a team, which is crazy. Right? And she's just amazing. She heals, she defense up, she's usable at every stage. From the second you get her to the end of the game, as of right now, like
Raid.
she might be
Awesome
one
raid
of the
character.
legendaries.
Awesome raid character, and yeah, she doesn't have a team.
War
so you can
character.
do a war defense, mercs. Yeah, she does have a team. She's a merc.
And
She's an
I'm pretty
unofficial merc,
confident-
my friend.
I'm pretty confident that you require a 5-star Shuri in order to do the 5-star Chaos Theory Red Star event. I don't know who the other characters you need. I always forget. That doesn't seem relevant, but I know you need Shuri at 5-star.
Yes, so it's very, very important. So yeah, if you want to get more red star stuff, very, very exciting stuff. If you are unlocking Shuri. All right. Also, in addition to all this upstate stuff, we still have some blitzes coming up this week. The blitz character this week, Red Skull. What are your thoughts on this character being a blitz release character? I mean, being returning to blitz. Oh my goodness. All right. So in addition to all this crazy update stuff, brother, we have a blitz still happening, and this is not like a new character release blitz. It is for a returning character, but still a non-farmable character, Red Skull. What are your predictions for this blitz and the craziness that will ensue for this for these blitz scores?
I gotta say, I don't think it's gonna be too high. Couple reasons. One, Red Skull is do you have him? Yes, then you're good. The people who really need a strong Red Skull have probably been buying a lot of him as his offers have been all over the place. So I don't think they're going out of their way to blitz hard on this one. But I do think that less people would care than normal because they've literally just advertised a new character coming out this patch that completely destroys Red Skull. His passive even says the true leader. Baron Zemo is a character whose team is designed to specifically defeat this team. So it's very strange timing that they're doing a Red Skull blitz in the same patch or within the same couple weeks as the hard counter to that team is. It's almost like, hey, do you want this guy for the next week?
Do you think they're having a blitz for Red Skull right now because he's going to go to that Thor node and maybe not Captain Marvel moving there?
That's totally reasonable. As a matter of fact, I actually like that a little bit better than my original idea. That's my idea now. I just stole it. I think Red Skull's going there.
You can use that. You can use it. I'll give it to you.
He makes sense too. He's an endgame character, you know. Totally a great place for him too. You don't need him, but he's as long as you can start farming him. And again, we don't really know when the Doom campaign's level cap is. I assume it's one of those harder ones that we've been getting, but it might be an early one. Who knows? We'll find out.
We will. Now, we did find out about this in a blog post, but this was released in-game as well. Calling all S.H.I.E.L.D. agents double drop Iron Man. Now, this is a little interesting. I didn't know they still did double drops for Iron Man because he has kind of a permanent legendary event. But I see this as kind of what you said for newer players, being able to farm Iron Man, put him on this reworked Avengers team. What do you think of this? I thought this is a pretty generous idea so people could get a jump on their Iron Man.
Really new players, I can tell you, like the S.H.I.E.L.D. minions do a really decent job at very low investment through the earliest stages of the Ultimates, like 2s, 3s, and 4s and whatever. Once you get to 5, you might need to start swapping to a meaningful team. But yeah, overall, I think I like to see these kind of things, and I kind of wish they might make random double drops more prominent, if that makes sense. Maybe just like, hey, this power armor double drop, you know? Well, that actually does work. You know, just like throw in some random double drops. It's so weird. I know a lot of other games like this that are just like, hey, we're doing a double drop for this. What's the event? We just decided to do it. Like,
I like that. I like that idea. Just random double drop. Hey, it's Brotherhood Day. You know, it's,
but you ever just feel like
Day.
Nothing's happening? Double drop. Like
Brawlers.
Why?
It's Brawlers time. And even
Perfect. Brawlers. All Brawlers are double drops today. All of them, even the legendary unlock ones. Like, yeah, sure, get them. Whatever. Like, cool. If you have them already, we're gonna. Like, it's just they can pick a tag like tech double drop. Everyone at the tech tag go double drops. Like that's awesome, and it's something so cool. Cost them nothing. Huge community outreach thing. That would be a quality of life thing if I ever saw one.
I mean, and you look at this. You get four Wave 1 Avengers with this thing, or at least. It helps you to get 4 Wave 1 Avengers. You know, the Captain America, Black Widow, Hawkeye, all included in this. So yeah, get them if they have. if you have the opportunity. You probably want to be looking at this Doom campaign as well when it comes out. In preview 2020, Doom Rising Post, we announced that superior tier 14 origin gear pieces, some players call them mini uniques, will be available in the forthcoming Doom campaign as node rewards. The Doom campaign will comprise of 3 chapters, with the first chapter being released in version 4.3. That is update right now. Chapters 2 and 3 to be announced in a subsequent update. Each chapter will feature 5 of the superior tier 14 orange gear pieces. 5 of the, to get to tier 14. What are your thoughts on this?
Cool. That's it. You know, I'm very happy they were being a little bit transparent, because a lot of questions I've been fielding is like, what mini uniques do you think they're going to make available in this? And I'm like, well, most campaigns have 9 nodes. There's like 18, 20 mini uniques. I imagine that it won't be all of them, you know, but I do imagine it would probably be one of each type is represented. And then I imagine they'd maybe add more nodes, because like I was telling people, it's not, Doom campaign is a new campaign. It's not like a different name for the end of like Cosmic or Mystic or something. So they're adding a new campaign that's probably going to be a little bit more challenging. When you see that it has mini uniques and orange gear, you know it's going to require at least some higher investment, maybe level 70, maybe even level 75. I don't think Thor is a farmable character for level 75, but like NTW might be. Who knows? What I do know is this is great. We long have asked for farmable characters, not accessible characters. They tend to put characters as accessible, like Yo-Yo. She's accessible in premium orbs. Like, is she? You know, she's not farmable, that's for sure, unless you have a credit card. But I like this. I like the ability, finally, we can start accessing not only the mini uniques we need, but any additional pieces that may come out regarding gear tier 15, which as we know is going to be required for Dark Dimension 4, which as we know is going to be required for Doom. And we all want Dr. Doom. And by we all, I mean me and everybody else.
Yeah, so I'm you know, I gotta say about this, I hope that this first chapter is all bio gear, but I really like that this Doom campaign is coming. I really hope that this Doom campaign, I like it's coming out, because we've had heroes, villains. I see you laughing.
I'm sorry, because you said that, and I just immediately thought it's all skill, all of it.
You're probably right, but I'm hoping it's bio gear. But
One Piece is all I care about.
But I like that they're adding this, because I thought it was limited to that original Heroes campaign, the Villains campaign, Mystic, and that was it. And then they'll just add chapters to this. This makes me think, oh, they could add another one. But they could add another one after that, and another one after. It's endless, that the amount of content they could add with this. I like that they're adding this. It gives me hope. They're adding more campaigns in the future. So hopefully they continue with this and it never gets stale.
I would like to take this opportunity to applaud Foxnext for actually knowing what content is. This is content now. Like, this is what content is. It's things that you can do over and over again to progress your roster and grow. Not characters. This is content. And this is awesome to see a new campaign.
What? Not a new Greek raid orb? That's not new content?
Yeah, the Legacy 2 orbs that are coming out is not content. I'm sorry to let you know that.
I thought it was content when we got all our orbs missing and we got a new orb. I thought it was new content. All right, it is always my favorite part of the week, looking at these rumors, guys. And I think the biggest rumor of the week from Facebook, the official Marvel Strike Force Facebook account, it mentions Batroc, and I didn't know who Batroc was, but he's the character GSP played, George St. Pierre, in Captain America Winter Soldier movie, but he's not coming. But what it does say is, do you want us to stop working on Gam or Ro and Agent? Listen, they're trolling us. So I guess this, a lot of people took this as confirmation. This is meaning Gambit, Rogue, and Agent. We'll get to some speculation of some different agents that it could be, but what are your initial reaction to Gambit, Rogue potentially being added?
Well, Gambit's gonna make them like $40 million. Everyone loves Gambit. If you want to go and buy Gambit, go for it. If you can't afford it, come see me. I will loan you the money. I'll charge you a VIG. Everything will be fine. Don't worry about it. Gambit's the best. For me, I'm a little pickier when it comes to Rogue. I require Savage Lands Rogue or 90s X-Men cartoon costume Rogue, and nowhere in the middle. So if it's not one of those two characters, I will pass. regardless of her kit, based on nostalgia goggles, as I am an old man and I only care about things I used to love. So that's pretty much it on these. These characters are super exciting. I know it doesn't seem like I'm excited because I'm trying really hard to not like flip out about two of my favorite X-Men, but they're awesome. And if that is true, I'm going to be incredibly excited. Why would you leak that? Why would you do that? Don't tease. Just be like, Gambit's coming out tomorrow. We'd be like, whatever it takes, money.
All right, I think most of the community agrees with you. Super excited if indeed Gambit Rogue coming to the game. But this Agent one left a lot of people, I think, assuming Agent Venom right away, but there are some other possibilities. Agent 13, Agent Melinda May from the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV series, Agent Carter, Agent Peggy Carter, Agent Maria Hill. Any other agents come to your mind that it could be?
Agent X is something. I don't remember
Agent
from
X,
what.
Agent X?
Yeah, I think Agent X worked for the like X-Men, but from Canada for a while. I don't remember. So I just don't think the symbiotes really need anything else right now, and I don't think the developers, Scopely, think they need anything right now. So I would lean sooner and closer to like Agent Carter or Agent 13, a character that might have something to do with the new Marvel Avengers game that's coming out very soon. One of the reasons why the Avengers were reworked in the first place. I think they're probably gonna, you wouldn't rework an entire team unless they plan on selling you something. And to me, it makes a little bit more sense that this might be the fifth character on the Avengers team, regardless of canonically whether or not that character was an Avenger. I think we're gonna see an Agent Carter or Agent 13. What are actually both Agent Carter?
Chat has mentioned a character called U.S. Agent, which is like an evil version of Captain America, Hydra version of Captain America, as far as I understand. Maybe I'm not interpreting that right, but do you think that maybe it's someone to go into that Hydra team, that new Hydra team that we have 4 members of right now, the Hydra 2.0 team that's supposed to counter Red Skull? Do you think that could be a possibility?
How did we forget about the
rumors are true?
How do we forget about the most important Hydra character in the history of all characters? Bob, Agent of Hydra.
Bob? Is that his name?
How do we not even think about that? It's Bob, Agent of Hydra, Agent Bob. What if he's the character?
Agent Bob.
I didn't even think about that.
I didn't even know who Agent Bob is, but if it's a Hydra person, it makes sense.
Bob, Agent of Hydra? Yeah, he was in the Deadpool movie. Yeah, he was his cameo. He's like, hey, Bob, didn't you used to work for Hydra? He's like, no, I got a new job. I'm a merc now.
Is that the guy with the mustache?
He was at the final scene when Deadpool was just killing everybody.
Oh, I told him I got to go back and look at that.
No, he's a known, he's kind of a joke character that shows up in a lot of Deadpool comics.
Okay.
But he is a character of relatively Agent Bob, like kind of known. Hydra Bob, a lot of people may have heard him as. He's just like a schleppy minion. Which is hilarious.
Well, Grenadier's on that team, so
yeah, Grenadier's also the worst.
Together.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I'm changing my opinion. It's not any of those characters that made sense before. It's Hydra Bob.
All right, and next rumor. This was on the same post, on the official Marvel Strike Force Facebook post that the other rumor appeared in. This said, MODOK presents an interesting challenge. He's a favorite of just about everyone over here. With his shape, size, and movement, creates some interesting challenges to overcome. Pretty much every character mentioned by players is one we'd like to come to the game. The whole team, a bunch of Marvel fans, and we would like to meme on it. It's time to go. But I'm getting the impression this is kind of confirming that maybe not coming to the game. Does this anger you, or does this sadden you? Or anytime soon not coming to the game?
I challenge this. It does neither of those things. I don't believe any of those words. I believe MODOK is coming to the game, and I believe that they are specifically like, oops, we misposted the wrong thing. Let's not say that's happening. I am convinced we're going to see MODOK soon. Not because of that, but yes, because of that. MODOK. Want him. Need him. And I don't want him to be a character model of MODOK. I want him to be a picture of Danny DeVito in a wheelchair. Change nothing.
Got it. All right, and lots of rumors, lots of stuff, guys, with this update. Obviously, this is recorded before the update drops, so anything on data mines, anything like that will be in a subsequent video. But yes, maybe we even figured out some rumors here on this in this weekly news update, guys. Tony, always a pleasure, my friend. Tell everybody where they can find you.
I am literally behind them right now.
Sweet. Now, you did mention something. You mentioned some video series that you're gonna do. maybe kind of
Oh,
memeing me
yeah,
a little
so-
bit. Is that something worth promoting, or is that just some fun thing, little thing? Is that something big?
If you like Valley, please feel free to start looking at some of the videos I start doing when I'm reacting to some of Valley's videos.
I look
Preferably
forward.
the ones I'm not on.
Do your worst, brother. Do your worst. I challenge you.
All right, man.
All right, it's always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, smash all that. Leave a comment in the description and check out some of the sponsors down there as well, guys. Worldwide Nutrition, they got a sale going on if you use the code ValleyFlyin25. Awesome sups and BlueStacks. Free way to play Marvel Strike Force or any other Android game on your PC. Give me a Hulk fist bump before you go, Tony. Where's that fist? ValleyFlyin out!